I'm so glad you asked this question because in the house, I told everyone that I was a college student studying fashion. So I couldn't talk about my academic background, couldn't talk about my education, my career goals, any of that. But let's see, I skipped first grade and I skipped ninth grade. So I went straight from eighth grade to 10th grade, and I went to this math and science boarding school for gifted students, essentially. I graduated from high school right around my 16th birthday. I can't quite remember if it was a couple days before my 16th or a couple days after my 16th birthday. And then I moved to downtown Chicago all by myself, got an apartment at 16 years old. Yeah. And at UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago, I studied biology and Spanish. And I was on the pre-med track. So I graduated in 2020 at age 19, right in the middle of COVID. And immediately after, I started a master's program at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, but I've never actually lived in LA because of COVID. So I'm getting my master's in biomedical ethics at the moment. In some ways it helped me, in some ways it hurt me. I'd say, okay, so I don't want to say that I'm different from most 21-year-olds, but I do have a bit of a unique history, considering I graduated when I was still a teenager. But I didn't want my fellow house guests to know that about me. And I also wanted them to feel like I was their baby sister. So like I changed up the way that I wore my hair on the show. I changed up my makeup because I wanted them to look at me like a child. I wanted them to feel emotionally attached to me, and that was very much a part of my strategy. So not only did I come into the house as the youngest house guest, but I wanted to remind them every single day that they should feel the need to protect me. So I think that helped me because, like I said, people felt attached to me on a personal level. People felt like I was dependent on them. People maybe didn't want to let me go because I don't know, just talking to the different house guests, it almost seems like they felt this innate instinct to protect me. Like a lot of them told me that I reminded them of their little cousins or their little siblings. And I was like, perfect. That's exactly where I want you. But, and sorry, that also caused them to underestimate me as a person, as a player. I feel like they underestimated my knowledge of the game. They underestimated how well I know people, especially considering my age. And that caused them to look in the other direction. I wasn't an immediate problem. Me and Big D are the only ones from jury, like from post jury, that have seen the season in full. Knowing what I know, I probably would not have played the same. As fine and dandy as the cookout was, I don't know. Maybe I would have rolled with Tiff, Kai, DX, and Claire till the very end. And then at that point, the chances of us having a Black winner would have still been 60%. And the chances of having a person of color win would have been 80%. So would we have guaranteed a Black winner? No, but I think that me and Tiff could have made it farther had we remained loyal to Claire, DX, and Kai. That's, I don't know. It's really hard to say because maybe had we done that, I would have gotten ninth place or eighth place and not fifth. It's really hard to say if that would have brought me farther in the game. But that's definitely something that I would consider doing, or that I would have considered doing if Julie Chen said, actually, let's just do a redo of this season.